Hey guys, um, I thought I would make a little clip and a little video just talking a little bit about detailing in general and how I see things looking and the difference between buffing and polishing and rotary machines and dual action machines, and a little bit about the history of AutoVelvet. And I just want to try and keep this very short. I bought a new camera, so I'm actually sitting at home, and I've kind of just set up a bit of a backdrop there and playing around. I love film. You're going to start seeing a lot more content on AutoVelvet soon. I just bought a new Sony camera, the A7S3, and I bought a nice G Master lens for it. So we're going to start really like showcasing some of our work and what we do. And like, I can't tell you guys that this is pure passion. Filming vehicles, detailing, working on cars, hands-on. It's really a passion. And I think many people at the beginning when we started with AutoVelvet were kind of, I don't know how to explain it. They businessmen and people came to me and said, you know, Clayton, you need to get to a place where you can scale the business and things like that. And I always went back to an analogy that I learned many years ago, and it was this rich businessman who flew with an aeroplane, and he saw this fresh water lake, and he saw two guys fishing on the lake, and he landed the plane, and he went to the two guys, and he said to the two guys, listen, I see you guys are fishing for salmon over here, and the water is like rich with fish, and why don't you guys get a bit of a bigger boat so you can haul some more fish in? And the one man said, why? And he said, well, so you can get more fish, and so you can sell more fish, so you can make a bit more money, so you can build a fish harvesting plant. And once you have the fish harvesting plant, you can make a better income, and you can then go from there and build a bigger fish harvesting plantation. And the guy kept on saying to him, but why? But why? And eventually the businessman said, so one day you can sit back and just fish all day, you know. And he looked at him and said, but I'm already doing that. And I really feel that's the same for detailing. It's like, this is not about, it's really not about money. It really is about the passion and just getting my hands onto that machine, both myself and Rian, and really working on a car. And you know, I get so excited looking at the paint and figuring out how do we achieve this result, and how do we push the barrier, and how do we push ourselves, and how do we, you know, I look at myself and Rian, and I see like we are like these two high performance athletes, because it's almost like car detailing should go into the Olympics, you know, like because your body is on the line, and you're working hard, and I think a lot of guys saw money in detailing and decided, you know what, we're gonna do detailing. I can see what Clayton's doing, and look how much money he's making. But you know, it's not about the money, and it's not that we're making huge amounts of money, because our ceramic coating costs us so much, our polishing machinery and equipment and all that costs so much, and I think the profit you make is not that great, because you're paying rent, you're doing all these things, and I think you know, then it comes to scalability. Let's get a whole lot of guys to work for us so that we can manage the business, and we can do this and this and this. But now, where's the passion for the detailing? You know, so I said, you know what, like this kind of work is really passion driven, and the kind of physical exertion that our bodies go under, and the workload to get a car done and to do all the polishing, the cleaning and everything ourselves is massive. So yeah, a lot of work. But yeah, technology has come a long way. The guys I still see a lot of guys are using all the rotary machines and wool pads on there, burning the paint, destroying paintwork. The buff and polisher guy, because he charges 1,800 Rand. I mean, I can't imagine what kinds of compounds they're using to to get away with 1,800 rand on a car, and then using the same wool pad on 20, 30 cars before changing it. And just, there's some shocking things out there, guys, when it comes to detailing. But and I think the thing is like, when I started in 2004, there were all these problems that I was trying to fix. Constantly I was trying to fix my own car, and I remember when I was very young, I used to get the neighbors around to my house, and I used to wash their cars for them, and I would organize these car wash meetings. And I remember going to Macro back in the day, the old Macro, and going to buy all these compounds and all these things, and I would try and buy these scratch repair kits. And then the internet came around, and I went to Incredible Connection and bought a little 56k Mesa modem, and then I was online, and I was searching out pro detailing, and I came across a guy called Mal Craig, who had these little DA machines, these little dual action machines that he built himself with little motors in. And he was busy detailing the New York Police Department squad vehicles. And I sent him an email, and we started corresponding and chatting and connecting. And he was instrumental in my journey when it came to detailing. And and it was just this ongoing process. And then it was sometimes I would find myself struggling in the industry, like how do I polish cars? How do I charge the right rate that I'm not working on a car for 3, 4, 5 days, breaking my body for 1,000 rand, And anyway, so it's kind of interesting, because I've had a lot of people say, it's amazing how you guys have just done so well in a year. And it's like, I've been on Instagram for a year, but I've been detailing since 2004. It's been a long road, And I've given advice to quite a few detailers out in the industry, Joburg and Cape Town. And I think it's just a lot of guys are trying to mimic what I'm doing, and they're not seeing success, and they're wondering why they're not able to achieve the success that I've achieved in the business in a short period of time as I have. And they don't understand that this has been a lifelong business. Nothing comes overnight. And and I think most importantly, the Lord has brought huge increase in the business. I'm a believer in Jesus, and I gave my life to the Lord when I was 25 years old. I received the whole power of the Holy Spirit, came inside of my body, transformed my whole life. I never went to a church. I received this power and the Holy Spirit in my body, inside of my vehicle, inside my car. I was at the beach one day, shaking, full of power, ran home, stopped swearing, took all these posters of half-naked women on my wall down, and just repented and turned away from my old life, and just started really pursuing the Lord. And I used to pray at night, and I used to say to the Lord, Lord, how do I somehow incorporate these two passions of this filming and these cars together, And I used to be frustrated at times, because I'd go for a year at a time without having any cars to detail, and I would just end up then doing neighbors' cars and working on people's cars that I could get my hands on, and I wouldn't charge them anything. Or sometimes I would charge them for a bit of, I would charge them just for some chemicals that I would use on the car. So it has been a long road, and I'm excited to really help and educate and lift the market of detailing to another level, because I think what I'm seeing out there, there's a huge lack of passion. There's guys in the car industry that are not passionate about what they do, and they shouldn't be working in the car industry, and they should be pursuing their passion, because, it's like maybe 6 months ago, I had this vision in my head. I saw this car riding down the road, and I saw this block of money, and I saw the money blowing off the car as it was driving, and I saw this depreciation and this value dropping as the car was riding down the road. And I saw that, and I thought to myself, like, that's quite interesting. And I tried to visualize what that was, and it was, to me, it looked like this. It looked like the client buys the car from the dealership. The car comes from, let's say, Italy. It comes on a train or a ship or boat, however it comes. It's wrapped in plastic. It gets scratched. It gets marked. In that process, it gets bumped or whatever. It might need to get a quick fix here and there. It then has all the wrapping and everything taken off the vehicle. And now it's got all these love marks and scratches and bumps here, and the car hasn't even been delivered yet to the client. And then the car gets washed at the dealership, like really incorrectly. Same mitt used on 1,000 cars. The mitt is dropped on the floor. It's picked up. It's rubbed. The stones inside the mitt are scratching the paintwork. Whoever's cleaning the car takes the mitt and puts it into the wheels and collects brake filing and dust, and then puts it back onto the top of the roof and starts scratching the car even more. And now you come and you look at this beautiful Audi in the showroom, like lights are lightly dimmed and nice, and you look at this car and you're like, oh, this is amazing, and you buy the car. You pull the car into the sun and you realize the car's full of scratches and marks, and it hasn't even been washed once, and the car's not in good condition. Now you take it to the local car wash, and the same process that follows there is followed into the local car wash. There's low lighting, underground basements. The pipe from the vacuum cleaner is scratching the side of your car every time they're pulling the pipe around. The car is just getting hammered and damaged. And a year goes by, you've washed your car 20, 30 times. Your car's got dings, scratches, bumps. The car's a mess and starting to look tacky. And every time you look at the car, you have this feeling or the sense of, oh man, I'm losing control of trying to look after this car. And how do I care for this car? How do I care for it properly? Is there anybody out there that can wash my car correctly? And I saw this huge, like this gap of just, how do we care for people's cars? How do we help people? How do we help people? How do we help people care for their cars, look after their cars, protect their cars? Ceramic coating is one, proper washing technique is the other. And how do I somehow come into this market with the passion I have to protect and to help look after the asset of this person? Because at the end of the day, that car riding around it costs 800,000 Rand. An A-Class A45 these days is 1.4 million Rand. And within a year, the car's tacky and wrecked, scratched, bad condition, not looking good. Anyway, so yeah, how do we help people? And that's what I'm busy working on day and night. I sleep at night and I think, how do we fix and how do we solve this problem? How do we, when you sell your car one day to somebody, that person receives that car with such joy and looks at that car and goes, my goodness, you've really looked after that car, or you've had somebody that can help you look after the car. And it's maintenance. You need to maintain your ride, because your ride really is it shows the condition of what you're currently in, if that makes sense. I can't explain it, but you know, if you're riding a car and you stop and you get out of your car, and you see another car on the road and there's bird poo all over the car and the car looks tacky and a mess and not in good condition, you kind of think to yourself, I wonder who rides that car. They don't really care for their car, you know. Without sounding funny, it's almost like it's a resemblance of their life and what they're going through. They're probably going through a bad time, going through a divorce, or lost a loved one or something, and their life is now being shifted onto that vehicle, as in it's a real show of what's happening in that person's life. Do they really care for something that they own? Or is it just this materialistic, banged up thing that takes them from A to B? And at the same time, that's all right. If some people just want their car to go from A to B and don't care about it and let it get all messed up and tacky, but at least care for your vehicle, that for the person that's going to receive your car in the long term, because you're going to sell your car again 5 years or 10 years later, someone's going to buy it. Present a quality vehicle to someone. Allow them to have joy in purchasing a vehicle from you. You wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You go to work every single day, 5 days a week, 6 days a week. Some people work 7 days a week, and you pay for that car. You give your hard-earned money for that car. Look after the car. It's so important to look after your vehicle. There was someone I met from the States. His name is Jono. And I watched a video of him once, and you know what he said? He said, when I walk out of the shopping center in the States, Walmart, and I look out into the parking lot, I can immediately see who's had their car professionally handled, who has a professional handling their car. And I've always said, you know what, that is so inspiring. I want to be that professional. I want to be that person that looks after your car. And I want to be the person that does it hands-on, In the future, of course, I'm going to train up 1 or 2 guys that are going to work alongside of myself and Rian to help. But they have to be profiled, and they really have to have a passion for what they do. So anyway, I just thought I'd put this rant out there just so you guys can understand a little bit more about what we do at AutoVelvet and our vision and passion for the business. And I just want to say, guys, have a really amazing week. It's Sunday now, and I just thought I'd put this clip up. It was in my head. I thought, let me just capture it quickly. And be blessed. And we're moving into our new space within probably another 4 days. It's just being painted. And I'm trying to curate this nice environment to work and to care for people's vehicles at the same time. So guys, be blessed and watch this space. Big things are going to be happening soon with AutoVelvet. And have a really good week. Ciao, guys.